and we were able to score running our offense. So it all started with our defense.
Talk about the performance of Zion after, the game in Vegas. I know he took some criticism, but the way he responded tonight, you had to be very pleased.
We were, and more than anything, it was. I'm sure it was refreshing for him to get out back on the floor and to respond, to have a great game, to carry our team. Zion, Bi, our starters, they did a great job of setting the tone early, and that's what we needed. We needed to have a few good days of practice, knock that sort of like funk off of us that from the LA game. We didn't feel good coming out of that. We know we're better, and tonight we went out and we showed it. Like, look, Minnesota's a good team. I know they didn't have Edwards, but it's still important to get this win on our home floor before we go on the road trip.
Zion looked pretty locked in from the opening tip. What did you see from just a focus standpoint from him tonight?
The biggest thing is, what can we control? We can make a decision as a team that we want to guard, that we're going to communicate on the floor. We can rebound the ball, things that we haven't done as well as we needed to. And then we can get in our plays. We can run. We can get up and down and play with a sense of urgency. I thought that was the look that we saw tonight was, let's play with a sense of urgency.
What was the key to getting Zion, CJ, and Bi all going tonight?
It was them. They did it. They get the credit. Those guys are pros. They work at it, and they want to be good. They understood that, the 10 games before LA, we were playing at a high level, and we want to get back there or move forward to be in that team.
And this is just the second time all three of those guys scored 20 in the same game together. I mean, just how surprising is it that just knowing how long they've been together to finally be able to do that in the same game.
Yeah, it's refreshing. It was fun to see. It's fun to watch. I mean, it's still a close game, but those three guys, they set the tone. They carried us, and that's what we're going to need from them night in and night out. At the end of the day, we're going to count on CJ. We're going to count on Z and Bi at different times of the game to step it up. And tonight we saw that.
And, ever since you guys officially announced Larry's going to be out for a while, you leaned really into those small ball lineups with Z at the 5. Even went a little bit of a stretch tonight without Z out there and still playing small. Just what have you kind of seen with those groupings and what you've been able to accomplish?
Well, we're blessed with really good defenders and basketball players, guys that play hard, play together, enjoy getting on the floor and competing. When we go small, Najee, Dyson, Herb, Trey, Bi, Z, whomever it is, CJ, it allows us to red switch screens on the perimeter because it starts with our defense. It allows us to stagnate their offense a bit. Now we have to continue to rebound when we have those groups on the floor, but once we get stops, we're off to the races.
Coach, Cat got off to a nice start. I think you had 10 points in the first quarter. But then you guys held him to 7 afterwards. Looked like Trey, Dyson, Herb, Bi even all took turns. Can you talk about the defensive performance by those guys?
Oh, you're right. It was a collective effort on those guys' part. He's a heck of a player, and he hit the game winner last time we were here on our home floor. We wanted to make sure we did a good job of making it tough on him, making his catches tough, forcing him to shoot over a contested hand. And like you said, Bi, Trey, Herb, Dyson, all the guys that guarded him, we did a good job. And then we tried to double him in the post to get the ball out of his hands.
You spoke to about how important rebounding was. Herb tonight with 10 rebounds. How important is it for the wings to get those rebounds?
That's the key for us. Really, it really is. It's our wings. JV is gonna gobble up rebounds night in and night out. It's kind of what he does. But it's really CJ, it's Bi, it's Z, it's Herb. It's our other wings that come into the game. They got to come in and crack back, rebound the ball. Now when they catch it, right, you got wings that can all bring the ball up the floor and they initiate the break, which allows us to play a bit faster.
Speaking to JV, talk about his performance. I mean, he's dealing with Gobert and Cat at the same time. Speak to how well he plays.
Big time performance from the big fella. JV has been solid all season for us. And he, like I said, he's doing all the things that we ask him to do. And he's playing with joy. It's fun to watch him, move forward and have success with this lineup on the floor.
And Willie, just circling back to Zion, did you have a specific message for him going into tonight's game?
The biggest message was we need to respond as a team. That game was not an example of who we are, but it happens. It's a long season, and you have, hopefully not many, but you have a few games where it's not your best effort. And we talked about it as a group. We watched some film, communicated about what we could do better, and then we got on the floor and we worked. And we're all tremendously blessed to have a group that wants to respond. These guys compete at a high level, and they enjoy doing it together, and it was great to see it tonight.
So I know we've talked a lot about the starters, but Hawkins was starting in a lot of the games earlier in the season, and we've seen those minutes increase. Could you speak on that?
Yeah, those are some of the tough decisions that I have to make, and I've had some talks with Hawk. He's been fantastic. There's nothing he's done, and it's more about, can I play 11 guys? Can I play 12 guys? And that's tough to do sometimes. So my message to him is stay working. Your opportunity is going to come around again, and we can all see that he has a bright future with us. And that's just the deal. Like, it's a long season. I'm sure we'll have some guys in and out, and he'll get another opportunity to come in and impact his team. Thank you, guys.
All right. Shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all being with us in this episode of the Pelican Post-Game Report. We're in this thing. Recapping the Pelicans dominating the T-Wolves 121-107. And yes, indeed, that's how you respond. If I had the clip from Bad Boys #1, I think it was, DC, where Will Smith is driving the car.
Now
right?
that's how you drive.
Now that's how you drive. That's what I'm talking about, baby. That's how you pop, man. So shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all being in the stream. It's been a rough week, man. It's been several days, DC, after the Pelicans losing that game to the Lakers. You just got humiliated in the tournament. It's been a nonstop barrage of things aimed exclusively at Zion Williamson. It was very quiet up until that loss. Then it all came out. I must play. You shared with me a clip via Twitter, X, which I'm gonna share with the family members later, which is terrible, man. I just seen that. I wasn't aware of that, man, but appreciate you sharing that with us, man. But shout out to the fam. Appreciate everybody for being in the stream. Please feel free to hit the like button. By all means, feel free to hit the subscribe button and the share button as well. We in this thing. Much love to the fam. So anyway, without further ado, DC, Pelicans respond in kind, man. 121-107. They get back on the right side of things, man. Zion Williamson, unshaven, hair uncut, look like, all of that's been affecting him. Very sharp with his words. He showed in this.
Yeah, he was short with Jen Hale, man. Of all people, Jen ain't deserved that. But I get it. Z was ticked off, man. And like I said, because that's what he kept saying. But excellent effort by the Pels, man. I spoke previously when we had the game against the Lakers. This was everything. Not whether they win or lost, but there's no way they should have gone into this Minnesota game and lost convincingly. Whether that be 8, 10 points, whatever. They need to have a lot of energy, intensity, and basically play like, their season was on the line, because you have to respond after that. And I think the Pels did that, man, as a unit. And more importantly, Zion did it, because, man, it's just ridiculous. As soon as they have 44-point loss, now he's in the worst shape he's ever been in his professional career. And old nutritionist is coming out and they're bringing up tweets on why the man ain't there no more. Zion got rid of him because he was trying to force him to do the right thing, and he wanted to do his own thing. And you got Shaq and Charles Barkley criticizing him again, and it's like, damn, it's a pretty big loss, pretty big embarrassment on the national stage. What JJ Redick said,
bro, you gotta look at it. So I put posted a collage.
Oh my God, I missed that part, man.
A
I missed the
collage.
JJ Redick part. I
The
ain't see that.
JJ Reddit thing.
He need to just shut the hell up, man.
JJ Reddit.
Why is he still? He's still bitter because we don't want him no more. And after we ain't want him, nobody else ain't want him. But man, you would have swore the Pels was on a 10-game losing streak. How they went to talking about Zion, man.
Started
Wasn't
punching.
embarrassing loss. He did deserve some criticism. He did. He definitely did. But I think, man, it just went overboard. Like I'm like, wait a minute, what was the Lakers game? And this, wait, they still talking about that? Like it's still a thing? You know, this is 4 or 5 days ago, and every day is just something new. And they acting as if the Pels are playing right now, like they played in the last 3 days. And Zion just wasn't showing up. So hopefully this can help get things a little bit more closer to normal, help us to be able to get past that embarrassing loss. They went out, they beat the number one team in the NBA, although they didn't have Anthony Edwards. That would have
Right.
been way more impressive. That'd have moved the needle for me. But he wasn't out there. But nonetheless, man, this is still a good team. And I think the fashion that they beat them in is satisfactory in my book, man. Great Pels win. Looking forward to seeing more in the next game. They got to carry the same energy, man. Keep that same energy, like they say, and continue to keep shutting everybody up, man. We were riding high, feeling ourselves, got knocked back down to earth. Now we got to get to climbing again.
Right. I mean, you're absolutely right, DC. I mean, I was looking at a lot of what was going on in the game, and I was very impressed. The no nonsense approach that Zion Williamson took in the matchup, you could tell that a lot of it's hard to ignore the ferocious barrage of stuff that came at Zion Williamson over the last several days. You can see it impacted them, and that's what you do. Take that in, let it motivate you to dominate. Let it motivate you to take you to the next level. Some of the great ones, we know who they are, use that type of criticism to promote them to take it to the next level. So Zion Williamson, man, and tonight he played a very wonderful game, man. So let's hit some of the team statistics in this one, DC. 40 of 82 to Pelicans, 49% shooting from the field. They were 10 of 27 from downtown for 37%. They got 40 foul attempts tonight at home. 31 of 40 for 77.5%. The T-Wolves 40 of 91 for 44 flat, 13 of 36 for 36.1, and only allowed 19 attempts to the foul line, 14 of 19, just under 74%. It was even on the rebounds, 47 apiece. You look at the assist game, Pelicans barely won that one, 27-26. They won the steal game, 7-5, 7-3 on the blocks. Turnovers were even. You see the points and turnovers, 21 versus 20 points for the Pelicans, 8-4 on the fast break points, and points in the paint, Pelicans 56-50. Even if you go by the scoring per period, DC, the greatest discrepancy or the distance between the scoring, if you look at the worst quarter among those, was the 34-point scoring quarter, which was the third, and the Pelicans only allowed them to do that, beat them by 3 points, 34-31. The rest of the quarters, the Pelicans, the second and especially the fourth quarter, they played really well to kind of keep this in check. And you can see they had a certain focus, especially around Zion Williamson and CJ McCollum. He was wonderful. But overall, the team had a very decent, above decent performance tonight against the T-Wolves. And they might be able to build on a little streak right here, getting ready for Washington. But what you think about some of these team stats?
I think they're good, man. They were able to pretty much take over in every category for the most part. Didn't really leave Minnesota to win any statistical category when you're looking at them, but it's just slight edges here or there, but it all adds up over time, man. To getting to the free throw line 40 times, that's the one for me. You know what I'm saying? Because we have this up and down relationship with the refs, and we don't usually get home cooking, right? And those guys, they were unrelenting. They kept attacking. And you got a guy like Gobert down there, and they're not afraid to attack him. It's the best defensive team in the league. B.I., he had a pretty solid game, but he was attacking the rim. he made sure he got to the line. Zion did what he did, and to knock down those shots, man. We got that 40 times, and to hit them at a 77% clip, that pretty much says it all right there, Big Q. That's how we got the game, bro.
Right. Yeah, this was cool, man. This was the type of game that we would love to see them play. This was the type of effort we wanted to see the Pelicans have, DC. We wanted to see them respond with this type of outing by hammering, and like you said, even though the top player wasn't there, but you still beat them. Ain't no we still no quarter for us. You got to beat whoever they put out there, and if your guy's not there, so what? We still got to hammer you.
Well, you made an amazing comment about great players and how they take the criticism and they use it as fuel, right? We can see that Zion did that, but I would love to see us take it to the next level, because the greatest players, they create their own criticism in their head about stuff people said that they ain't even said.
Yeah, Jordan used to have to make up stuff somebody said. I remember he's talked about that. But
Kobe did. It wasn't just Jordan.
That's
Kobe
right.
did the same thing.
Yep.
They just look for a reason. So to me, watching this, and like you said about the criticism, and you seeing what that brought out in Zion, man, mentally, if he can up his mental game to be able to have that chip all the time, man, this can be a huge turning point in the season, to play with that level of intensity, aggression, and pissed offness, as if they're always talking about us. I think that's what we should do. Bottle that Lakers loss, man, and carry that as fuel. And when that runs out, make something up. Let's imagine the media talking trash about us before they actually do, so we don't have to respond this way when they do. We can already think that they will, or they are doing it, even if they ain't doing it yet. They thinking about doing it, so that means they're gonna do it. So that's a great point, man, and I hope to see Zion and Bi carry that type of mentality, because looking at them, I think that's the only thing separating them from being future Hall of Famers.
Yeah, they have the talent, DC. That's obvious. They have the talent, right? But it's just that extra attack dog. I mean, Shaquille O'Neal, I kind of listen to him a little bit more of what he's saying than Barkley. Barkley is just ferocious on Zion Williamson. Talks about his conditioning and to a degree, Barkley talks about how Moses Malone told him he was fat and lazy. And he's just using what Moses Malone told him to Zion Williamson. And Moses Malone ain't no slouch, but he was able to get his game together. But you're right. This is the probably one of the only things that this talented Pelican team is missing, is that attack dog, step on you, a killer instinct type of mentality they need to carry, almost like the Pelicans against the world, Pelicans against everybody, that type of mentality. And that, we going to fight tooth and nail and have that type of mentality going up against a Lakers team, how when you face up one of the best players in the game, like a LeBron James or some of these other guys, being there and ready to accept the challenge and go at those guys. Like, listen, you the best, you considered the best. Let me go at you and make a name for myself, show you that I've arrived and your time is ended. We need that type of stuff as opposed to the we cool type of thing. We need that more of attack dog mentality when we're going up against the Golden States, the Lakers, and other teams that'll be in our way if we're trying to seek that trophy. We're trying to get that crown. We're trying to get to that top of that hill. These are the guys that you're going to see on your way there. Got to have that mentality. So anyway, looking at the teams, the individuals, DC, Zion, 36 points in 33 minutes, bro. Plus 26 on the plus minus, totally different than what we've seen against the Lakers. Everything was minus, but plus 26 here. 13 of 17 from the field. He was 10 of 12 from the foul line, hitting his foul shots. 36 points, 5 rebounds, a couple of assists. He had a block and a steal in the matchup. Shout out to Z. 23 points for CJ McCollum in 29 minutes, 8 of 15 from the field, 4 of 7 from downtown, 3 of 3 from the foul line, 23, 4 points, 4 rebounds, a block and a steal. For CJ, he was plus 21 as well. 20 from BI in 29 minutes, 5 of 13 from the field. He had 2 3-pointers from downtown and was 8 of 9 from the foul line. He finished with 20 points, 5 assists, 3 boards, and plus 13 on the plus minus. Valanciunas finished with 14 points and 13 rebounds, a double-double for Big V with 4 assists and 2 steals and 2 blocks in the matchup in 35 minutes of action. Big V double-double ended up. Herb, 7 points in 32 minutes, but he finished with 10 rebounds and 5 assists for Herb, doing his thing as always. Off the bench, we seen Trey with 10 points. He was 1 of 5 from downtown, kind of struggled. You're seeing Trey getting to the foul line, trying to do his thing. But finished with 10 points in the matchup in 24 minutes of action. Dyson had 28 minutes. Dyson Daniels got out there. He finished with 6 points, 2 rebounds, and assists, and 2 steals. 2 assists and 2 steals, and a block for Dyson doing this thing. He was +5. And of course, we see Najee with 5 points, 5 boards, and an assist in 14 minutes of action. Jose played 15 minutes, no points, but finished with 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. And he was doing this defensive thing out there. Just his offensive game suffered today. And Jayhawk did get 1 minute. He got 1 minute out there and was 0 for 1. So, yeah. So, Willie talked about that in the presser about having difficulties trying to find these guys, DC, to kind of get them involved in the game.
Why is this so difficult, man? I love Jose, but Jose gave us nothing tonight.
Right.
Why can't you put Hawk out there? Not that we needed him, but what's so difficult, man? I think the difficulty is just not being able to see what's going on real time and knowing when it's not a guy's night. Or you need that extra spark to play a guy you don't normally play. And it's going to intensify and get even worse, Willie. The pressure is going to be even up greater when that elbow gets fixed from Matt Ryan, because he got a flamethrower too. So, how you going to justify not playing him if you're getting an off night from Najee, Jose, and I guess Trey gave us something, but Trey wasn't his, best self tonight. Not saying he should have got less minutes, but I'm just saying, when you getting everything you would like to get out of your bench, especially when we're at home, Jordan Hawkins is right there. And you're looking at this and you want to give him minutes based on what you've seen. He's proven he can do it, when he's given opportunities. But just like my man Jay Carvello says, as you put him up there, he talked about Hawk needing to step it up. You know what I'm saying? Hawk needs to step it up on defense if he wants more minutes. Just keeping it real. He cost us the first Wolves game. Willie ain't going to play guys who don't play defense. He's absolutely right. But Hawk is also a rookie. And I think Willie will make this adjustment because he did it with Trey. As the season goes on, man, and we get closer to the postseason, we're going to need Hawk.
Yes.
Not saying we're not going to need Jose. Not saying we're not going to need Najee. Not saying we ain't going to need Dice. I don't know who you're going to take out and when you're going to take him out, but I guarantee you there will be games where you're going to need him out there, and you might have to sit somebody else down that normally gets those minutes. So he's going to have to figure it out. I think he will, and hopefully I don't think it's a situation that'll cost us a whole bunch of losses. Much as I like Jordan Hawkins, the meat and potatoes of this team is Zion and B.I. As long as we got those two guys, we're going to win some games. Going into the player statistics, though, man, awesome. Great night. Great night from Zion, man. Best game of the season from him. He gave 36 points on about 70% from the field, 80%, whatever it was. Also gave you a steal and a block and played pretty formidable defense too. 5 rebounds. Still want to see that number go up. 2 assists. I ain't really tripping about that. Zion gonna get them assists, man. But tonight he was he's a little greedy tonight. You know what I'm saying? He was trying to run the table, Q, and not eat it, right?
Yep. That's messed up, bro.
Yeah, man. Zion went out there and handled his business, man. Great game from him. Love what I saw. Glad to see him step up, man, and take over as he should. This is the Zion we needed against the Lakers. Just even if he did this, the way the whole team played, I'm not sure we would have won the game, but it would have been a hell of a lot less embarrassing. B.I. also turned in a pretty solid performance by his standards. Can't call it great. Got to get him turnovers down, though, B.I., man. B.I., it's like every game he has like 4 or 5 turnovers. Really looking forward to see him get under control. Even though they gave him a couple of BS travels, he would only had like 2. I don't know what that was about, man, 'cause it didn't look like he traveled either one of them times they called that. One of them, when he was pump faking, looked like more 3 in the key than a travel. I get if they called the 3, but he might have been outside of the box now that I think about it. But he gave him 5 assists, 3 rebounds, 20 points. But for me, it's really the 8 for 9 from the free throw line, man. He was missing some shots at times. Didn't miss a whole bunch of them because he went 5 for 13, but just looked a little stagnant at times. And he put his head down, man, attacked the rim, got to the line. Love to see that. CJ McCullough also played well. 8 for 15, 4 for 7 from the 3-point line. 4 rebounds totals, 4 assists. Got a steal and a block. Boy, CJ is sneaky with them blocks, man. Every time I look at the stat line, he got a block. So he plays defense when he wants to. Getting older, sometimes he's a liability, and you have other nights where he looks pretty solid. But to me, the guy defensively, I don't even have to talk about his offensive stats. It was JV, man. JV did a hell of a job. If you want to see some statistics, let's go up and look at Karl-Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert and what they gave you, because JV had to pretty much cycle on both of those guys. Held Rudy Gobert to 8 points and Karl-Anthony Towns to only 17. 2 blocks and 2 steals on the night for JV, man. That's 4 turnovers he forced just by himself. And what he's gonna do on the rebounds. Gave 13 rebounds, 14 points.
Love them double games.
Yeah, double, man. He's a double machine, man. If we feed him, bro, and it don't take much. He only had 9 shots. That's all it took him to get 14. Getting to the line though, man. 4 for 7. Like to see him get some of the makes up, man. Get maybe 6 for 7, 5 for 7, but we'll take that. Pretty damn good game from JV, man. Offensively, it was solid. We've seen better from him. Not bad, but defensively was where it was at for JV, man. Huge part of this team victory.
Yeah, it was pretty cool watching him play, man. Like I said,
Dice too on defensively, man. Dice was out there causing hell defensively as well. Can't forget him.
Yeah, Dyson, man, played 28 minutes, DC. 28 minutes tonight, man. It was out
Played
there.
more minutes than Trey Murphy. Go figure.
Right. It would have been nice to see Dyson and Hawkins out there, man, to have that extra shooting ability with the Jose kind of struggling. But, it is what it is. Pelicans still get the dub, man. But it was pretty positive. But this was kind of performance we wanted to see the Pelicans have after the letdown against the Lakers and all of the stuff, the criticism that they got as well. So, DC, before we jump to the Washington preview, let me play this, what you sent me via X. We'll play this, family. Give me a second for y'all.
You can still call it Twitter, bro.
Yeah. It's this was. I didn't even hear this.
It'd be forever known as Twitter to me, man.
Yeah, I didn't even hear this, man. But this was ridiculous, and there's only like 26 seconds of what this balding fool said about Zion Williamson, man. And I don't trust his commentary when it comes down to his sources. I don't know his suspect, but listen to what this dude said about Zion Williamson, man.
It is shameful. You got chefs in New Orleans. I'm not exaggerating. I'm quoting people. You got chefs in New Orleans who love him. They're looking for him. Every chef there wants to meet him because they know he'll show up to their restaurant. The word out on Zion Williamson is that he'll eat the table. I'm quoting. He'll eat the table. What in the hell is going on with Zion Williamson? If Zion Williamson,
that's terrible, man. That's awful. Yeah, but this is the thing. That's why Zion has.
Well, Skip. I mean Stephen E.
Man, it's just awful, man, to hear that kind of garbage about Zion. That's what's got him kind of upset and pissed. The propaganda machine got on full blast during those 4 games. Like I said, I put a little mini collage together.
I think I know the sources, Q.
Who are the sources?
The sorcery. That's what it is. He made that shit up.
This dude, I just don't trust his sources, man.
It's called media magic.
Yeah, just all of a sudden, it's good to talk about the Pelicans when they falling, but when the Pelicans actually doing something, they quiet as church mouse. But when the Pelicans are struggling and there's issues, they zero in on Zion Williamson and they'll attack him. They just attack. and that's what got him upset. So I
And
mean,
you know the crazy thing though, man. But I guess they consistent because Bi did score like 34, I think, in the other elimination game. They didn't say anything. They actually talked about Herb Jones more than Bi, right? Bi also had 9 points. They didn't say nothing about Bi. They just went straight for Zion for some reason, man. It's
because
crazy. It's kind of weird.
Zion is, he doesn't attack back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He just, that's
Yeah,
the problem.
Bi might punch you in the face.
But Bi is, they're not going to let you attack him like that. That's
Yeah.
the problem. Zion Williamson needs to attack back. He needs to do something going back at these people to stop them from lampooning them every chance that they get. When things go south with the Pelicans, they start automatically attacking him. He has to attack back. He has to do something to get these people off of him from attacking him like that, because they don't attack nobody. Like, you don't see him doing that to LeBron James when he have bad games or any other superstar in the game. He has to attack back. He has to figure out something he got to do, and he got to get back at these guys and shut that down, man. And maybe he can do that with his play, but you have guys like, it's tough to kind of argue against a Shaquille O'Neal that's telling them that, hey, man, you should be averaging 10 rebounds a game. A guy with your potential.
Check is right, man. You see how Zion go up and just take them rebounds when he want to, man.
Right. That's what Shaq was saying.
Take them, Q. He
Right.
got he got it, man. It's just, it's constantly the same thing. Does he not have, that same energy to play like that
I don't
for
know.
a full 48 minutes? Or I'm more leaning towards the side of, I think he just tries to be a little cautious and pick his spots because he knows he can get injured. So you kind of take it easy. You do what needs to be done, and you don't try to go overboard, because we done seen Zion getting 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 rebounds. We done seen him do that, especially under Stan Van Gundy. You remember that?
Yes.
He was getting double-doubles every night. He ended the season, I think, averaging probably 9 rebounds a game. And now you're seeing him, it's 5, 3, 4, 6, maybe 7. He's probably averaging maybe 4 or 5 rebounds on the season. So I get what Shaq's saying, man. He's right. But at the same time, if this is the cost we got to pay to have Zion for a full 82 games, sign me up. I'll wait till the playoffs to see all them damn rebounds.
That's what I agree about that. I definitely agree about that. We don't need him being too aggressive, and then he gets. I agree, DC. I think that's a part of the mentality of him. It's just kind of, let's just stay on the court. Let's just stay on the court. Let's work together, and ultimately it'll all work out eventually. As he plays the majority of the games, he'll work himself into whatever shape that he needs to be. So, I mean, in the end, we just got to keep them on the court, keep everybody on the court working together and doing that. And all that stuff will work itself out. We still have a ton of NBA games to play. We haven't even, we're in December, when things really start get to cooking, DC, when you turn over that year. And when you get to January, then you start looking going forward. So we haven't even turned that corner yet. So, it's still a ton of games left to be played. It's simply like what ESPN does. Is this stuff that pulls attention, because they never give the Pelicans their fair due when happen. So I think it's like we've exposed this on this channel about ESPN, even exposed their reporters lying. That was with the guy that's sponsored by Wendy's. We kind of laid him out on that, and how they exposed all of the lying and the BS that they were doing. So let us not forget that crap. All right, so anyway, DC, let's move forward, bro. Next matchup, we could build something here, DC. The Pelicans are 13-11. We playing a god-awful Washington Wizards club that are lost 5 straight games, bro. They're 1-7 at home. They're 3-19 on the season. And else, in the great words of Elvin Gentry, DC, they are a complete dumpster fire. So, right now, Washington is pretty awful, man. And we got to go up there to play them. Of course, you see Kuzma is their top player, averaging 23 points a game. I think Gafford might be out of the matchup. He's the top rebounder there. We'll see as we get close to the matchup.
Boy, ain't Zion happy about that, huh? Because Gafford gives Zion problems, man. He's probably one of the better defenders on Zion.
Yes. Yeah, he does. I don't know what it is about Gafford, but he's happy to see Zion Williamson, so he won't be there. But DC, let's look at some statistics if you don't mind. Covering the matchup here, you see the Pelicans right now ranked 15th in the NFL. The Washington Wizards, despite their god awful record, they're a top 10 scoring team, 116.3, but giving up 125.3. 125 plus points a game. That'll make you definitely only get 3 wins.
Wow.
That's for certain. The Pelicans giving up 114.2 DCY, averaging 113.5. You can see the field goal percentage right there. It's top 6 in the NBA, shooting over 48%. Pelicans at 47.5. And you can look at the 3-point shooting right there as well. The 3-pointers made between the two teams, and ultimately the Pelicans' free throw attempts, DC, a top 5 team in the NFL, but free throw completions are ranked 24th in the NFL. In the NBA, 75% in 24 ranked free throws. So you're a top 5 team getting free throw attempts, but you're ranked 24th in the NBA in a free throw percentage. So, got to
What the
turn
hell is going on, man?
turn that around, brother. So anyway, rebounds, Pelicans
Wow.
top 16.
Well, they headed by their fearless leader, little boy from Golden State, man.
Poole.
Yeah, he's been so inconsistent, so it makes sense. That's who
Yeah.
they put the money behind. That's who this team is following. So they're a mirror of their leader.
Yeah, Poole is he ain't been the same since he got popped upside the head by what's his face, man. But anyway, this is who we got to deal with. DC, they can score. They can score a ton of points. They just can't stop anybody. So let's talk about this matchup, man. This seemed like a slam dunk for the Pelicans, man. What you think?
Yeah, this is one of those games. You would call it, or well, people talk about it being trap game and all that. This is a clear game where you would expect the Pels to win. The Pels would expect to win. Now the focus, I don't think it's about having this all-out strategy. It's just staying the course, man. Doing what you know you should do. Not feeling like you have this game won before it's won. Like you can't go to sleep on this team or try to put it in low gear. We ain't no championship team that could turn it off and turn it on when we need to and play with our food. So we need to go out there and handle business, man, not get too high on ourselves and think playing the Washington Wizards is beneath us, like we just gonna show up and win. If the Pels show up and do what they normally do, man, keep the ball flowing, put the ball in Zion's hands, let him attack, let BI attack, and generate offense off of that. Everybody else, when you get it, touch it, keep it moving. Defense to offense is our identity. So as long as we stick to those things, I think we'll be fine, man. The Pels come out with a dub. We're just a better team. We're playing better right now. I mean, the Wizards haven't really been playing good all year. But in true Pels fashion, I do anticipate this for some reason being a close game. I don't think we're just going to go ahead and blow them out like we should. We win, but I think we're going to make it a little harder than we have to because at some point, playing these guys and getting everything we want, we're probably going to fall asleep for a quarter. And, it kind of allow them to hang around in the game. So hopefully that don't happen, but that's just what I see happening because that's usually what happens when we play lower caliber teams. We seem to kind of play down to our competition sometimes as we play up to our competition other times. So Pels got that Saints thing going on, man, where they do that. So in order to win this game, man, they just have to stay true to who they are, focus on the things that they do well, and do those things consistently, and the Pels will show up with a W.
This might be an interesting stretch of games for the Pelicans, man. They were able to get a nice win against Minnesota at home. Then they hit the road for 3 games. Wednesday is the matchup against the Washington team. Washington on the 5-game slide. I'm with you, DC. I think they beat them. But the Pelicans could put on a winning streak here. They can win 4 straight games, starting with tonight's matchup. They have Washington on Wednesday, Charlotte on Friday, and Sunday they have San Antonio. The Pelicans could go on a little 4-game winning streak, and by Sunday afternoon, this team could be a 16-11 team, DC. They could be a 16-11 a team if they handle their business, man, and do what they're supposed to do. But they have some teams ahead, and we know how the Pelicans are sometimes when they lose focus. But this could be a time where the Pelicans can kind of reel off some wins right here if they can maintain this intensity and this focus. They have made some really easy, I ain't gonna say easy teams, but very doable and winnable games up against adversaries the next 3 games. We can get this, man. We can kind of have some distance between them wins and losses, man, over the next 3 road games before we get the home game next week against Memphis. So hopefully we can get that done, man, and press on them and make things pop and happen, man. But this will be a really good time for the Pelicans to go on a winning streak right now. We have some very winnable games coming up this week here. We got to close out, man. We got to make it happen, man. Take advantage. So,
No doubt.
Go ahead, DC. You want to add to that before we get ready to pop up out of here, man?
Yeah, man. Like you said, the Pels have an excellent opportunity. They're in a place to change the narrative that we've had recently with that Lakers loss. If we go ahead and go on a 4 or 5 game winning streak, that shuts everybody up, man, and gets things back to normal, the way we would prefer them, and also gives us something to look forward to as far as the Pels going deep into the playoffs. Because after watching that Lakers game, it makes you wonder, who we are. You kind of trying to reassess this team. We were riding high on what they were doing prior to that, even though that's just one game. It was on such a big stage. You do have to question yourself a little. But after seeing them go in tonight, beat Minnesota, that's a step in the right direction. They go ahead and get on a 4 or 5 game win streak. That's another step in the right direction. As you can continue to see them mature and get better, as they talked about this being the second game in the whole history of the trio being together, B.I., Zion, and CJ. Guess what? That they all scored 20 points. I was hearing, I was like, wait a minute. Then I go look, I see a few people who know what they're talking about on Twitter, also reposting the same thing. And then you go and look at some of the games. I'm like, damn, they haven't actually all 3 scored 20 points in the game since the Brooklyn game last year, the season opener. That's crazy. So if that's the case, and they did that tonight, and at some point we can have a stretch of games where we start seeing things like that become normal, this obviously will catapult the Pels into a different category. But when the lights come on, man, that's the next thing we need to prepare ourselves with. When the lights come on, the pressure's on, and the whole world watching, we cannot fold the way we did ever again. You ain't going to win all of them, but we have to stop folding in prime time. If B.I., Zion, and CJ scoring 20 points more often a game, I think that's a lot easier to do. That's something you can count on. That's something that'll be there. That's something that's consistent. And I think for those 3 guys, the skill level that they have, there's something that's fairly easy for them to do. It's just a matter of consistency, health, and as things transition, and this team, if they do continue to do things like that, to also find ways to make it easier for all 3 of those guys to score as defenses start to change once the Pels become consistent with their starting lineup. Because when you look at it with CJ, Zion, and B.I., man, they still haven't played a whole hell of a lot of games together, which is crazy to think because CJ's been here for his 3rd season technically, even though it was just a half season the first time. Then he was here last year. The man that had a collapsed lung twice. Zion had been in and out of the lineup along with B.I. So we've just had so many unfortunate situations injury-wise. They went through what they went through. We've been playing up and down this year, kind of had it together, soaring high, and we had other low spots. But maybe, just maybe, we're finally hitting a level of normalcy for the injuries and just the guys to actually be able to get out there, play, gain some chemistry and consistency, and the sky's the limit after that.
Yeah, absolutely, DC. Well said, man. I think the time is now for the Pelicans, man. The time is now. We done went through all this other stuff. The time is now. The time is for them to
I wouldn't have said none of this if they lost embarrassingly tonight. It would have been over for me. Just want y'all to stay. It's the same way I feel about the Saints. But go ahead, Q, continue.
I think they, and I knew that they would respond to the Timberwolves. I knew that they would respond with some. They had an opportunity to sit in all of that madness, and they played. You have to know that they played with a certain, or practice with a certain upsetness and an attention to detail after getting embarrassed like that. So I mean, they expressed it tonight. Just let's keep this going. Remember that feeling and all of the stuff that they talk. Let this build in you so you can have that upsetness, that attitude that is we against the world. That's the type of stuff. And going at these teams as elite teams, you have to be, if you want to be elite, you got to beat the elite. In order to beat the elite teams, you have to have that elite mentality that they have, and we got to exhibit that. Our best players have to show up, they got to show out, and they have to be dominant. They have to be dominant against dominating teams or players. We can't shrink against a LeBron James or what's his name from Milwaukee. We can't shrink against Big Giannis. We can't shrink against these guys. We got to go for their necks. That's what. That's another thing I agree with. O'Neal said. He said when he seen a guy in there that they considered one of the best guys, he went for his neck. He wanted to show him what time it was. He wanted, and that's how Shaq said it's two people that he played against that he couldn't do anything with. I think he said one of them was Elijah.
Yao Ming.
he said Robinson and Hakeem Olajuwon.
I thought it was. Yeah, well, I guess he was just talking nice about Yao.
Yeah, he always talked about Yao Ming, about dominant. He used to dunk on Yao Ming and all that, man. So I don't think he was one of the ones. He just probably
after he got it going, he said it was nothing he could do with him. Once he figured out, being over here speaking English and all of that.
Okay,
but whatever. Nonetheless, you're right.
Well, okay. All right. So anyway, shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all joining for this episode of the Pelican Postgame Report. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and by all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feed. We'll be back here Wednesday night to recap the Pelicans and Wizards matchup, man. We anticipate the Pelicans going to build a winning streak, man. We're going to by the end of Sunday, after we take care of business with the Spurs, I'm anticipating the Pelicans to be on a 4-game winning streak and our record to be 16 and 11.
11, yeah.
So there you go. That's what I'm talking about. So anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna get out on that.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below.